and welcome to another edition of Tunnel Vision. What are you laughing at over there, Connor?
It was like you were going to do the Peristyle podcast intro and you held up.
No, this is different. This is Tunnel Vision.
I know, but that's what made me laugh.
Psyched him out.
It's our Sunday night show. Normally, I'm not sitting in this chair. Riley, who does our Sunday shows, usually a little under the weather, so I'm going to fill in. And Chris is coming in. I guess Chris is taking Connor's seat. Connor's taking mine. I'm sitting in Riley's. But yes, we're all here from USCfootball.com to talk about USC's 31-13 victory over the Michigan Wolverines, the signature win, the best one USC and Lincoln Riley's had since joining the Big Ten conference win. So they needed something like that, and they got it. Could have been worse, and we're going to get into all the details of what was going on with that. We are live on YouTube, and I believe live on Facebook, and I got to see the comments on YouTube going off already. Fortunately, the Sunday night ones, we can't put the YouTube ones directly, but I will copy any questions you guys have. So if you have a question in there, put it in there, and we can get to it later on. We are also taking live calls, 512-4-TUNNEL. Not so much therapy this time, guys, because USC thumped Michigan and got the big win, 5-1, AP ranked number 20, and a big game coming up this weekend against Notre Dame. But this was to me, we talked about this, Connor and I did at bunch, and this was a must-win game. You had to bounce back from the really, really poor effort in Champaign, Illinois, and the Trojans did, and got the resounding victory. And they needed that one. A blue blood, send them packing. See, USC's gone east a bunch and lost. Those teams coming west, you got to make them pay. And USC on Saturday night made them pay.
The win builds evidence. It makes me believe more in Lincoln Riley's program. Like, that's a win that you can see, okay, we're better on the offensive line. The offense is just better in general than last year. Defensively, the defensive line is better. Like, the progress that I saw Saturday night is massive, and that's what I think if you're a USC fan should get you the most excited, where let's talk short term real quick. All of a sudden, I don't know how many games they'll win, but like we said on Instant Analysis, Chris, I see USC being in a lot of these games, all of them, going forward because of the floor of this team. Hopefully there are no more injuries. We can get into some of the injury stuff. Unfortunately, USC will be down some running backs. But if you keep that core group of Jaden Mayava and Makai Lemon and defensively Eric Gentry, Kamari Ramsey, if those guys are playing, a few other guys as well, USC is going to be tough to beat. We saw that Saturday night, and it's just a great response after that Illinois loss, especially on defense. It gets you bought back in a little bit, which this was a year for Lincoln Riley to show, hey, we're better than what we showed last year. Winning at Purdue was huge, and then winning last night against Michigan, a top 15 team. Still work to be done, of course, but there's progress. You can see the trajectory, and it's time to get excited, I'd say.
The blueprint is certainly there for this team, and you saw it on Saturday. This was obviously the most complete we've seen this team play, thanks to the defensive component of this. And you're right, they should be in a lot of these games. But again, it has to come down to they have to channel what they did on Saturday. Obviously we know the offense is going to be good, but just that bounce back, as you said, for the defense, just all those defensive coaches earned their paycheck. The best defensive performance of the season. And this is what we kind of thought this team could be, a really stout team up front. The secondary is going to give up some plays, but for the most part, they were going to get some stops. They were going to be tough in the run game. They were going to be better in the run game. They got playmakers, Kamari Ramsey, Eric Gentry. They were going to get some turnovers. They were going to get some stops. They were going to get some sacks. They were going to get some negative plays on offenses. And USC's offense on the other side of the ball, we know they have special weapons, and they're going to put up points. 31-13, that is the blueprint. And as you said, this was the most important game of the season. This was an absolute must-win. You could not leave with anything less but a victory. And maybe you looked bad and you won. Maybe it was a tight game and you had to pull it out, which would have been fine. Maybe it was a shootout. That's not really what you wanted. But at the end of the day, you dominated on all sides of the ball, offense, defense, special teams, whatever, and you got a convincing win. They controlled that game for, 95% of that game. The 2 turnovers in the red zone could have been a bigger blowout for the Trojans. So complete game, complete effort. Hats off to Lincoln Riley and that coaching staff and those players because, 2 weeks, they came out and showed what USC fans wanted. They wanted a bounce-back performance in a big way.
They did, and they needed it and got it. It was a pretty clean game. And I think coming into it, I did my 3 keys to victory, and USC just hasn't been punting, which is a crazy stat. Like, they had 5 punts through 5 games, so it's number 1 in the country. They ended up getting 2 because they had a second one late in this one, but still, just when you're not punting a lot, I felt they couldn't turn the ball over more than once. They ended up doing it twice, and that was a really bad interception by Jade Mayava. But outside of that, he played really well. I think he's much better doing the quick read kind of stuff than rolling out and trying to make things happen. We saw Caleb Williams do that really well, and I don't think that's Jade Mayava's like strong point. But I would say, they limited, they mostly had good possessions, and even the possessions they turned it over, they were good drives that they fumbled or threw an interception inside the opponent's 10-yard line. So they were really effective on drives at that one that they had to punt. And even that drive started deep in your own territory, and you got, a couple first downs and were able to flip the field at least. So most of their drives were successful. And I feel like that was a really important part. I didn't want to see a whole bunch of penalties. They had fewer penalties in Michigan, 3 total, and none on defense. Not giving an opponent's offense any first downs via penalty. Like, when's the last time that happened for USC? So that was, I thought that was pretty big. And then just having the defense step up and get some stops. 1 punt for Illinois, like, that's not going to cut it. And they get a 3-and-out right away. 2 punts in the first half to start, 2 punts to start the second half. And they could have had a couple more punts late in that game, except they went for it on 4th down because it was out of hand at that point. But the defense stepped up and got stops. And you look at, like, those were my 3 keys, and they pretty much nailed them. They was like, all right, this is what USC needed to do in this one. We all felt they could, but we just hadn't seen it, especially as the competition rose. And I think it was good to see this offense still look elite without a couple of the offensive linemen, without your 2 best running backs, and against a much better defense. They're still moving the ball. They're still scoring points. So to me, that gives USC a puncher's chance in any game down the road, because they could score on this team. They can score on almost anyone.
If you include DJ Wingfield being down 3 offensive line starters and still winning at the line of scrimmage, rushing for over 200 yards as a team, no sacks for Jade Mayava, against a Michigan front that it's not as good as last year, but it's still pretty darn good, that's almost unheard of. So I just give the coaching staff and those players so much credit on the offensive line for overcoming some of the losses and just being solid. Like, the unit last year, especially at the beginning of the season, wasn't great. They got better towards the end of the year, but that's another area where, okay, you can see the development in action on that offensive line. And then, Ryan, you brought up the penalties, especially on defense. What were the areas that we wanted to see USC improve on in this game? Penalties on defense was a big one. Getting better play in the secondary. Kamari Ramsey coming back, of course, helps, but I really liked, for the most part, what I saw from DeCarlos Nicholson and Marcellus Williams, just because, yes, they made some mistakes, but USC just rolled with those 2 guys, and I felt like they had a bounce-back performance, even if it wasn't as great of a game as you would hope. It was good enough, obviously. You just saw the improvements that we were so desperate to see, and that was a big question going into this game. What will the response look like after that Illinois game where defensively USC just didn't have a good afternoon? And the response, by and large, was really, really good. And that's why we have so much belief in this defensive staff. I feel like that Illinois game, it was kind of like, oh my God, I don't really know what's happening here. What we all expected is what we saw against Michigan, and it's just great to see the team execute and do what they're supposed to do.
And again, credit to Lincoln Riley. I think I forgot to mention this on Instant, and I talked with Connor about it after we finished recording, but Lincoln Riley is really good coming off a loss going into a bye week. With Saturday's win, he is now 5-0 going to the bye week after a loss. So they get things done. They get things corrected, and you just hope USC can carry that momentum. Obviously going into a big game in South Bend this weekend. And yeah, I think the penalty thing is massive, just as a team that was giving away so many frustrating penalties. 8.2 per game coming into this contest, most in the Big Ten and among the worst in the country. 19 first downs for the opponent via the penalty, which was second most in the country behind.
I didn't even realize that. 19 by penalty.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's insane. And the most in the country was Western Kentucky at 20 or 21, I believe. So, yeah, hats off to them. 19 is an outrageous number. I think they gave up 17 all last year. So they were they're smashing this. So to have 0 defensive penalties, that was huge. And just Michigan came in as one of the least penalized teams in the country.
Yeah.
And to finish with less than them was really impressive. For
They
the
hit their
Trojans.
average, I think. They had 4 a game, and they had 4. you
Yeah,
know. But
so-
USC was like 8 a game, and they had 3. So that was the improvement.
Yeah, I think I realized it like halfway through. I was like, wait a minute, USC is not getting penalized. And I just covered a game on Friday night that had like 25 plus penalties. I was ready for some flags to be flying, but no. USC, hats off, good coaching during the bye week of cleaning up those penalties.
I got to do
Oh,
we have a super chat that I forgot to mention at the top. I'm sorry. And I can't put it up on the screen, but Sager, a coffee for each of you this week. Enjoy. There's 15,
Thank you.
15 bones, so thanks. So I'll get you guys a coffee or something. Neither of you guys drink coffee, right?
Oh, I do.
this
Oh,
guy
Connor does.
pounds
Oh, yeah.
coffee.
Yeah, you sit next to me every game. You remember all the drinks I drink?
You do
Drink a lot of
the
drinks.
Yeah, but not the coffee.
A press box coffee stand hates to see Connor come.
Yes. We also have our first caller here. If you want to go.
Oh,
to
you wanna
caller
do
round.
that?
Early.
Let's do that. Hold on.
So going into the year, I thought the offensive
Hold on,
line
I'm
might
hearing
not
myself.
be in
Why
a
am I
great
hearing
spot
myself?
because
Yeah, I
last
don't know.
year
I was like, Connor's calling in.
That's weird. Let's see. Well,
Mitch in New Jersey is up, but we might be having some technical difficulties.
I simply need to hear Mitch from New Jersey's.
Oh, was he like? He might have been. Was he listening? Maybe he was listening to the show.
Oh.
Are you listening to the show, Mitch? Yeah. So don't do that. You can listen on the phone.
Okay.
Let's try it again.
Hold on. We're gonna try again,
All right.
Mitch.
and he is
Could you
a newer
mute the
coach and a little bit
audio?
of an unknown coming over from the tight ends. And so I thought, okay, this is a position
I don't think he can do that. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll figure, hopefully it's not.
We're gonna drop him, and he can call back.
Yeah.
Is that what it's like listening to Connor all the time?
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Is there
Painful.
I'm
anything?
just joking. I'm
Look
just
at the other tabs on that to see if there's something else open that would be playing. But
Oh,
Mitch,
you know what it
Mitch.
is?
what?
It's our pregame show that was playing. So
Oh,
that
nice.
wasn't Mitch's fault. It was our fault.
Mitch, why were you playing the pregame show on that laptop?
I think he's calling
Mitch,
back
please
here.
call
Perfect.
back.
Yeah.
Fire Connor. Fire Ryan. I'll take the call.
You want to take it?
I'm blaming Ryan. Why was the pregame show on?
I don't know. I just,
Okay,
You're sitting
I
there.
paused it, and I think now we can go to Mitch in New Jersey. Mitch, are you there?
Yes. How we doing, guys?
Good.
Final great game. That's one of the best games I've seen after that first year with Cowboys. A great game we gave it to them. I want to talk about we're deep at running backs. It's unfortunate what happened with Jordan and Sanders, especially with Joe. We might not even see him again. These guys only have 1 year left. They're probably going to leave for the NFL because what we have in Jackson and Miller, King Miller, and of course we hit Dalton's going to be redshirted. We're really it was like overnight. We were so deep running back, and the Heisman I can't. I guess they're not going to give it to Micaiah Lemon, but Miami's probably going to finish behind Beck and Mendoza. Those are probably the big deep. At least he didn't get invited, and no one saw that coming last year.
Thank you, Mitch.
Mitch, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
It's interesting to hear. Let's just talk about the running backs, I guess, because Mitch
Yeah, give us the update.
brought that up. So Wayman Jordan out 4 to 6 weeks, and is set to have tightrope surgery on his ankle tomorrow, unfortunately. So that's a shame. And then Eli Sanders, we have no official update on him right now, but Lincoln Riley didn't seem very optimistic after the game Saturday, and it sounds like it's potentially season-ending for Eli Sanders. So when you have that, and then you have Harry Dalton hurt right now, Riley Wormley hurt, the 2 true freshmen, that leaves Brian Jackson, King Miller, and walk-on Sean McKelvey. I don't think Sean McKelvey is even in the same, with all due respect to him, like he's not a King Miller walk-on where you're relying on him. It's going to be King Miller, and it's going to be Brian Jackson against Notre Dame, and if one of those guys gets hurt, maybe it's Carson Tabaracci, Chris, we were talking about. But they're very low at the running back spot right now in terms of depth, and we'll see if King Miller can keep doing what he's doing because he was exceptional, of course, against Michigan. Player of the game.
And we got an update from Lincoln Riley because if you guys follow like Connor and Chris, like they'll tweet out the availability report, and we're not getting a lot of updates on injuries and stuff leading into the game. So if you ask Lincoln Riley about how's Elijah Page, like wait for the availability report, so you can wait for that. And then in this case, Brian Jackson was listed as out. The previous game, Kamari Ramsey wasn't on the availability report and didn't play. So there was some question that, but he got the late food poisoning thing. In this case, apparently Brian Jackson was cleared, but he didn't dress and they listed him as out. He has the turf toe and he was coming back from that. And then at halftime, Lincoln Riley had to call like the Big Ten office and declare like, hey, they have a wellness issue because they don't have any running backs left. He's been cleared Brian Jackson has been cleared to play. Can he now suit up even though we listed him as out? Got the clear for that. So even though he wasn't, he was listed as out, then we see him come in the game a couple snaps and we're like, oh, that's interesting. And then he gets a carry. Like, well, now he's running the ball. So, and then he scored a touchdown, which we have a picture of. But so that was a very interesting situation, but it really came out of necessity because once Sanders and Jordan, they went out, it was up to King Miller, and then you needed someone to back him up, and it ended up being Brian Jackson.
It makes. No, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it sounds like they didn't break any rules, but I just wonder what's the point of the availability report if there's so many ways around it. But anyway, Chris.
I was going to say it makes more sense when you look at it from a redshirt perspective and the assumption that he has been battling turf toe, but also the assumption that he was going to take a redshirt this season, which would explain why he was practicing, but also out for this game as to not potentially move him closer towards his 4-game limit if you're going to redshirt. So he played last season, did not redshirt, so he has a redshirt still available. But yeah, that makes more sense. The fact that he was cleared to play and the fact that he came running out of that. I heard people like behind me make a commotion. I turned around and just see number 20 when I was like, Brian Jackson, he was out this game. So when you look at it from that perspective, that makes a little more sense that he was probably leaning towards a red shirt with, Eli Sanders, Waymon Jordan, and kind of King Miller being the three-headed attack at this point in the season. And now, you got to start thinking about what's next for USC. They are really, really thin at this moment. And, we always write about, we're talking about the freshmen is like these guys aren't getting in unless there's devastating injuries. Well, devastating injuries have hit. So maybe Riley Wormley is the next guy to possibly get some carries or some suited up, travel with the team, something, because at this point you have one scholarship running back available, technically two. We know King Miller has to be put on scholarship at some point. Like, I just don't see how that doesn't happen. Somebody's going to put the kid on scholarship.
He might be already. I don't know.
Yeah. So you have two scholarship running backs left. So you got to, again, like Carson Tabrachi played running back in high school, was a pretty good running back in high school. So I wouldn't be shocked if he gets a look there. If maybe Riley Wormley, just coming off that knee injury they don't really want to fully push it. Maybe that can get you to 3 at some point.
And the challenging thing is now going to Notre Dame. I can't speak to North Carolina State's rushing attack. I haven't watched a second of the Wolfpack, but they had 28 carries for 51 yards against Notre Dame. So Notre Dame, I know they got off to that slow start, but pretty good run defense for them this year, bringing a lot of guys back from that front. Their linebackers are good. On paper, not a great matchup for USC, but hey, King Miller, maybe he'll just keep doing what he's doing. Imagine that.
He had that spin move, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, if you're Michigan, you're like, we're like a blue blood program, and a walk-on is like...
Yeah, they look shell-shocked on that 49-yard carry, 3rd and 26. They're like, what is happening?
Yeah. Logan in the chat, YouTube chat, Harry Dalton is injured, he asked?
He is. We don't know what it is, but he's like not practicing. Like,
No.
we've seen him.
He scoots away to do something else.
Leaves practice. Maybe he's going to rehab. Maybe he's going to... But why would you... The rehab facility's there. So we'll get that this week and ask you about Harry Dalton. But yeah, we haven't seen him in some time. I haven't seen him since, he got those couple carries earlier in the season, but he's there periodically. He was there at the sideline, just not dressed out. But yeah, we haven't seen him come out for practice, and we've even seen him, head out on a scooter, as Connor said, before practice. So yeah, we got to get an update on what's going on with him.
One of the YouTube chatters is my jacket, says Ryan's jacket.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Let's go.
We were talking about that, yes. So I haven't wore the jacket since the Purdue game, but it's
rain.
They're supposed to rain, so I'm going to wear it. It's not literally like a rain jacket, but I'll just wear it anyway.
For the bit.
It'll just get wet. Yeah, for the bit.
Can you wear it at the meetup?
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely wear it for the meetup.
Yeah, get Cowherd to sign it or something.
I'll see if Cowherd can come again. So he came to our last meetup. We're going to be back at Theory Bar, set it up again, 6 p.m. on Friday night in downtown Chicago. before the Notre Dame game. So if you're going to be traveling, come meet up with us. We had a lot of fun at the last one. 2 years ago at Theory, we packed the whole place for Notre Dame. So it'll be fun. And my jacket will be there. So
You can take pictures with it.
I will take you can take pictures with the jacket.
With it on.
Not with me, but just the jacket.
Yeah, they don't
itself.
want you in the photo.
No. I'll get a hanger. We'll put it there. You can get a
go.
picture.
Let's go.
With the, what was the place called that we went to?
Cracker Barrel
jacket. Yes.
We have another call as
Oh,
well.
let's go.
Jacob,
Hot.
you are on Tunnel Vision right now. Hey, Jacob, how's it going?
Hey guys, how's it going? Great show. I had a question about the injuries. Do you think Coach Riley is holding back players because they're hurt or because they're injured? You know, like we saw like Jacoby Lane in the Illinois game, very limited, but then he ends up with like 30 plus snaps in this game. Brian Jackson, out, and then all of a sudden he's playing meaningful minutes in the second half. And then also with the depleted running back room, I know the two-star pod had mentioned this before, but I'd like to see Tanuk Hines back there. I think he's pretty dynamic and can do some good things with his hands on the ball. So thank you guys for the good show, and let me know your thoughts.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Jacob.
for the 2-star pod shout out, which means I know he listens because Gerard Martinez very big on the possibility of like Tanuk Hines. Give him some carries at running back with that speed, with the ball in his hand. So yeah, he's like 6'1".
He didn't play running back though.
He did not play running back, but
No.
Gerard and his analytic brain looking at the tape is like, this guy could play some running back. Get him in there. You use him in the backfield, jet sweeps. You could put him back there and motion him out, just kind of like we did with Eli Sanders, kind of deal. So maybe put a little two back set. You can do a lot of things with Tanuk Hines and Gerard. Pounding the table for get a little running back action. So that could be a possibility.
And then as for the hurt versus injured thing, it's a good point that Jacob brought up because Jacoby Lane, we were hearing right before the game, was not going to play. And then he went through the warm-up, and it seemed like he was really pushing to be available. And maybe Lincoln Riley was like, okay, in case of emergency, and then they were losing to Illinois late, and that was the emergency. So it's hard to push back on guys only being hurt compared to injured where they can't play at all and sitting out. But the Brian Jackson thing, I think, Chris, you made the good point. Like, he was on track to redshirt. Jacoby Lane, it's a little bit different where he is not a redshirt candidate this year. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe in 2025, is it just different where if you have a reason to hold someone out, you don't want them to really push it? But I'm not sure. It's a good question because the evidence kind of shows, like, guys could have played and they haven't.
Yeah, the Jacoby one is interesting. I just think he really wanted to play, and you have to get cleared, obviously, and the shoulder is a thing. And it looked like, again, he was like a decoy for 90% of that game until it was benefiting to them to like, okay, they're not covering him, so let's get some yards that way, and it worked out that way. So yeah, I just think he really wanted to play, and if he cleared the protocols with the medical staff to do so, then they were going to, but they weren't going to throw him like 50 balls a game, make him, work the shoulder more than they had to. I just think he just wanted to play.
We had one in the chat from John. What about Lemon playing tailback?
I think that's the one position he hasn't played.
And he would probably crush it.
Yeah, it'd
But
probably
but
be
I
great.
don't want to put him at a running back. Takes more
Yeah,
hits.
too many
No,
hits.
you want to keep that guy. You want to keep him healthy. And this isn't like hurt versus injured. Like sometimes you're just like, hey, it's best if this person doesn't play from the doctor, or they're like, hey, he technically could play, but we would rather sit him out for this game. Like you guys mentioned, emergency situation. Well, they had two sort of emergency situations that came up. But that was a weird one to lose the running backs like that, and to have a guy that was in sweats, like, all right, I guess I'll put the helmet on and put the pads on, and here we go. Like that, that doesn't happen all the time. You don't really see that. So
It's weird that we're talking about these situations like Brian Jackson, Jacoby Lane, and yet Prince Strong still can't get back on the field.
He won't be a running back. We have two more calls right now.
We do.
Darren from Reno wants to jump on, but do you have something before?
yeah, hold on, real quick. I had a Facebook. I couldn't read the whole thing in there, but it's from David. He says, one block like you have all season. The running backs are kicking ass. 2, one bust on defense. Focus on the positive. The defense dominated. No, I think good points.
Great response from the defense. And what did we say Thursday, Ryan? Like, there will be mistakes defensively, and they had a 69-yard touchdown, but it didn't matter. You won 31-13. It's not going to be perfect.
You don't have to play perfect. You just have to
Outscore 'em.
the opposite of perfect. Like you can't have one stop. You need to have like a bunch of stops and like some interesting stops, whatever, not just one punt like that. They can't be it.
Where are all the Michigan fans from Thursday night who invaded the chat?
I don't think
who
they're here.
Said they didn't like me.
But
Yeah.
look-
How do you like my analysis now? Okay, Darren from Reno. Hello, you are on Tunnel Vision right now. Hey, Darren, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Great, thanks.
I just had a quick comment. I think as USC fans, seeing this team play with as much balance as they did, not a lot of penalties. They had a couple turnovers, but this was the cleanest game they've played in a while. And the frustrating thing is to see how good they can be when they play clean and they play balanced football. You see what this team can do, and it's frustrating because just do it every week. If they can replicate this every week, I do think that this team could be a potential national champion contender. I think they can compete with anybody if they play this way. So anyway, thanks guys, great show.
Thank you, Darren.
I get it. Like there's some frustration there knowing, and you didn't have to play this well to beat Illinois. You just didn't have to play poorly, and they played very poorly, I would say.
Kamari Ramsey would have made a huge difference too, obviously. If he's in there, I think that he
Enough,
at least
just
saves
enough.
you 3 points at the bare minimum, right? But anyway, we don't have to relitigate that. I think it's a great point by Darren because USC, especially on offense, like they have some moments where it's like, oh my God, like no one will be able to stop them. But they've been inconsistent, obviously, like we've all watched all of the games. And I agree with them. I don't think they're a national title contender, but if they hosted Ohio State, like I think they'd have a chance to win that game. Like there's no one in the country where it's like if they play them at the Coliseum, oh, USC's in a lot of trouble. And that's kind of been the case for the team in the last 2 years. Like you had Penn State and Notre Dame in the Coliseum last year, two teams that made the Final Four, and USC had chances to win both of those games. So that is kind of a frustrating thing with Lincoln Riley coach teams. But I'll say this year's team is clearly better than last year. No one's debating that. And I do think this year's team will be more consistent. As more time goes on, like what was the fluke? Was it the Illinois defense or was it this Michigan game? I think we'll see more positive games and more positive series, just better play overall. As time goes on, I think that that Illinois defensive performance will look like more and more of a one-off than just being what they are, that standard. Like that was clearly below their standard. They'll still be up and down, but I don't think it'll ever be as bad as that again.
Raise the floor, man. That's all you got to do. Get the you know how high you can play, but if you can raise the floor, you can beat a lot of teams. Ryan, this year's team plays last year's team. What's the score?
Ooh, I haven't thought about that one. Let's see. This year's team, the offense is way better. The defense is not as good, probably, but potentially better. But
The defensive line's better.
Yeah, but they haven't played better.
And you got Eric Gentry.
Last year was doing more with less.
If we took the game from, Saturday, then yes. But like the defense we saw at Illinois, no. I think it just depends. Like I guess you're gonna average all the defenses out because the defense not been great, but the offense has been elite. So I think, yeah, the offense is scoring a bunch of points on this team, but I bet you it's average. It's going to average like 35-24 would be this year over last year.
I think that's close. We have TJ who wants to talk about the USC run game.
Okay, TJ.
I don't think he hung up, but it says he might have. TJ, are you there?
No, I'm right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, Ryan, y'all do a great job. I watch y'all every day. I'm a USC fan way in Oklahoma City. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
we got you.
Thanks, TJ.
We're just thanking you.
Okay. I'm a USC fan from Oklahoma City. I've been a diehard Trojan fan, all my life. And Ryan, y'all do a great job. I watch y'all every day. And, when did Eli get hurt? I didn't even see him, I'm trying to figure out when did he get hurt?
Chris, when did Eli Sanders get hurt?
My field highlights are up. You could watch that, and obviously he took that little screen dump off outside when they're on the first touchdown drive. I think it was at that point, because he didn't get another touch after that. That's the only thing I could think of. He kind of goes to the sideline. He gets kind of hit out of bounds, and I think his knee just gets caught a little bit, and he seems, and again, I'm just like reading like the body language and like the in the moment. Obviously, the adrenaline's pumping. Opening drives, so you got a lot of energy going. But he gets caught out. I think his knee just gets caught a little bit, and then he kind of just like it feels like he feels something. He kind of looks down, like he's like looking, and I think maybe the adrenaline just kind of kept going, and then I think he goes back in. But I think he comes out after, and that's when he goes to the medical tent. So that's the only thing I can kind of think of is after that play. I think his knee just gets caught a little bit. I got a clean shot of it on the field. Highlights, you can check it out. That's my best estimation of like when it actually happened.
I remember when he went out of bounds, like when he slid. Wasn't he on his back or something?
No, he stayed up the whole time.
Just looks like one of those unfortunate knee injuries where just sometimes the wrong step that you take can be all the difference.
It did not look that bad. I mean, again, I could be wrong, but that's just like the only thing that comes to mind. That was like the only kind of real play, unless he heard it earlier, but that's like the best piece of evidence that I have.
Does this computer have where if you double tap it clicks? I might have just hung up on TJ by mistake. So sorry.
He
TJ.
was so nice.
Oh, way to go.
Wait,
blame the computer.
Strike two.
Where I come
Strike
from, you got to
two.
click to
Strike two.
TJ,
thanks
click.
for calling.
Yeah.
Oklahoma
And if
City.
you have more you want to
TJ.
talk about, you can call back.
Sorry for Connor. He's a jerk.
just you got one more strike.
We have more calls on
we do?
deck here. We have Dustin from Colorado. I think you muted, Ryan. Dustin from Colorado. Hello, you are on Tunnel Vision.
Hey guys, first time caller, long time listener. You guys do a great job for the show. So first question is on offense. Are we expecting any more of those silly Mayub interceptions? And then second question, is this a defense we're expecting for the rest of the season? Thank you guys. You guys do a great job.
Thanks, Dustin. Appreciate the kind words. I'm sure Mayub will have one or two more boneheaded picks, right?
If you complete 78% of your passes, I mean, his stat line was 25 of 32, 265, 2 touchdowns, that one pick, passer rating of 162. His yards per completion, 10.6. Pretty good.
It happens. Shouldn't have happened. He's been playing so well in those situations where just get out of bounds, throw it out of bounds, don't live to fight another down. And just I see what he was doing. Mekhi Lemon's there. He thought maybe he was going to drift back a little more, trying to get it over the top, but Mekhi drifted forward, so it was just bad communication in that moment. So I understand what he was doing, but no, too risky in a game you're controlling. So I would say probably maybe a couple of those, but the fact that he's cut down way down on those, he was making a couple of those a game. That was the issue, and sometimes it just comes back a little bit. Want to do a little extra. So obviously it's going to be a coaching point. And again, he has done such a great job of not doing those plays. So to have one, it's going to be like, hey, you've been doing great, but don't get back to that. I understand what you were doing, but we're in the red zone. Points are there. Points on the table. Let's not risk it with one of those plays.
Totally agree.
And it was bad situational football. And Connor, they were in the red zone, and Connor looked at they're up 2 scores, you're up 14, and just. You could have taken 3 knees and kicked a field goal, and you would have been fine. And so it was basically Lincoln Riley has to make this clear too. And maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. We don't know what was said, but I think you have to in that situation. I'd rather take 2 knees and then just kick the field goal than us turn the ball over here. So do not put it in harm's way. Do not take a risk. Huck it out of bounds. Run out of whatever you got to do. So maybe that was communicated, but. That was one really bad play, and the rest have been good. So, 2 picks on the year. He had 7 turnovers in 4 games last year. He's played 6 and has 2, so that's pretty darn good.
You can deal with those mistakes. Obviously, that interception, like the Illinois one, I don't think was as bad as the Michigan one, but when you win 31-13 and you have a turnover like that, obviously not the end of the world. As for the second question, so I think good passing attacks are going to give USC trouble. I look at Oregon. That's probably the best passing attack USC will play this year. Notre Dame this upcoming week. CJ Carr is a true freshman, and I liked how USC played with Bryce Underwood, made him make some decisions. And I do think USC can have some success against Carr, but the fact that game is in South Bend and Carr just as a passer seems – maybe that's crazy to say because I know Underwood was the higher rank recruit, but Carr, just seems like a better passer right now to me, where you can see the tools with Underwood. Like, he has the higher ceiling. But Carr, I just kind of like what he's done better. And then even Dylan Raiola at Nebraska, who I'm not the biggest Nebraska guy, but with Dane Key, that receiver, he would scare me when USC plays them. The fact that game's on the road, all three of them are on the road, a good passing attack to – I think Oregon's probably the only great passing attack. That would make me nervous because that secondary, as you saw, one little flick off and 69-yard touchdown, blink of an eye. So that's the area that makes me the most nervous.
My jacket in the chat was like, but don't you want to tell you don't want to tell someone don't throw a pick? I wouldn't want to put that in his head. I'm not saying that. I think if it's 4th and
I'm saying that, don't throw a pick.
Well, if it's 4th and 7, you can't you need to take a risk, right? You have to get this first down somehow. So you can throw it into harm's way because you just need to take. But in this case, you're like, don't take a chance. Like if you're, if it's close, like you don't need to throw a risky ball at all. It's not like don't throw a pick, but we're asking you to throw into double coverage. Just don't throw a pick. It's more of, hey, if the guy's wide open, throw it to him, but don't try to, wedge something in there. That's all I'm saying. We got a $25 super chat.
Whoa, that's a lot of coffee.
Awesome. What is this?
Thank you.
Demead, I don't know.
Say it.
Demead Owlable. I don't know what
Say
it is. Do you know what it is?
No, I can't see.
What are the thoughts on, or
that is
what
a
are
tough one.
What are your thoughts on the tenor of Riley's post-game presser? Thought he'd be more balanced in his comments about the team's performance. If excellent is the standard, Riley tends to not take the opportunity to say so.
Yeah, that does sound like AI. That's what someone said in the
it sounds like AI
chat, but AI pays, I guess.
Does AI just generate money? Like, is that?
What?
So I don't understand.
Can more AI generate money?
Is he upset that Riley didn't say enough good things, or is he upset that they didn't play great in his eyes and Riley didn't call it out?
I guess more balanced. I mean, I think in that case, I had no problems. Like, there's sometimes I have problems with what Riley says in those press conferences, but I had no problem with what, with the way he sort of handled that. And those are a little weird anyway because they bring up two players and you need to ask the coach a bunch of questions. I'd rather just talk to Riley first and then bring
they
players afterwards. And so Jane Iowa didn't get any questions, and I think we had one for Bishop Fitzgerald. But you got to ask the coach questions, and I thought I didn't have any issues the way he handled the presser.
Oh, Ryan's jacket is saying Riley's comments sound like AI, not the commenter. I thought the commenter's question kind of sounded like AI.
I mean, the username seemed like it was AI generated or something.
That's these live shows.
What was the part about the excellence is the standard?
He said,
what are your thoughts on the tenor of Riley's post-game pressers? Thought he'd be more balanced in his comments about the team's performance. If excellence is the standard, Riley tends to not take the opportunity to say so. So it sounds like maybe he's letting him off the hook. Is that what he's saying? But he was pretty critical of his team against Illinois after that loss. So
yeah, I think I didn't have an issue.
Yeah.
It's right after the game. You haven't watched the game. It's big win, emotional win.
Yeah.
Much needed win. Feeling good.
You know what I have an issue with? We have like 361 people in the chat and only 61 likes. Let's get in there.
I
smash the like button.
Accidentally hit a button again,
Let's
and
go.
TJ's back.
Let's go.
TJ, you're on tunnel vision. Sorry about how I cut you off.
No, you're all right. You're all right. We going hunting, fellas. I feel like the team hungry. I watched Notre Dame play, and Carr, he throws better than Underwood. And I think we're about to get out to Notre Dame. It might be high scoring, but we probably beat them by 10, 14 points.
Wow.
Okay, so we have a confident Oklahoma City Trojan. Thank you, TJ, for calling back. Sorry again that I cut you off.
Yeah, thanks, TJ.
What's the line on that?
I think
8.5.
USC's the first time USC's an underdog all season.
Dogs. Ryan's looking at that. It's like he's gonna take USC.
I gotta take those points. Yeah.
Take USC every time, and I'm 3-3. I gotta start doing something different.
4-2, baby.
I really felt like they should have covered all those games.
Well, they definitely should have covered Michigan State.
That's the most frustrating one. The Illinois one, okay,
Should be 5-1.
And then that Purdue one, they had chances to cover that, but then
say it.
Didn't end up happening.
Nice. Did we have another call too, or was that
no?
Okay, good. All right, perfect. Well, not good. They're good. We love the calls. 5124 tunnel. I just want to make sure. I don't want Connor hanging up on anybody.
Well,
again.
I made it up to him. I accidentally put him on.
He accidentally picked it up.
Well, this thing, I've never experienced a computer where you just touch it and it clicks. What's the point of that? You got to click to click.
I don't know.
Gotta click to
So we
click.
do, yeah. But so this is great though. If we have AI sending us money, like this,
I don't think that was.
that's what Connor said, right?
That's what I thought the commenter
That's what
said.
your
and
jacket
I
said.
agreed.
Yeah, my jacket. I love that my jacket's in the chat. We do have a bunch of questions up. Okay, one thing we need to talk about before we get to these questions. We got to talk about the atmosphere there. It was very good. I got a call from a Hall of Famer that went to USC that played a lot of games in the Coliseum, and the comments paraphrasing something of like that's the best environment he's seen there, which kind of hard to believe, but that's pretty impressive. He was impressed by it. Just seeing like the third downs, I filmed one of them, and Michigan only converted like 2 of 9 third downs, but one of the ones I filmed they did. But it was like they had the towels going. It seemed like legit loud, and there were definitely some Michigan fans there and stuff too, spread around. But USC took the lead, and it wasn't like prominent. You were hearing like these Michigan fans all over the place, but it felt like a really good environment to me. I know, Chris, you were down there, and get your thoughts too, Connor. But whoever wants to go first.
I'll go. I'm just very curious. Was the press box open?
And
Okay.
it sounded loud as hell to me.
Loud as hell. Yeah, it was pretty juicy down on the field. It was a great vibe to kick off. Great vibe throughout the game in terms of they got the towels going. That was a great visual. And I did the quick rewatch on the game, and it looked popping on television. So that carried over. I can say what you saw on TV looked like it on the field for USC. And yeah, Michigan fans showed up, and they were loud early. I mean, you could hear they had that "Let's go blue" chant starting early, and it was like, okay, Michigan is here. And then USC came back with the "We Are SC" to kind of drown them out, and it was kind of competing there. So obviously they got quieter as the game went along, and then you saw them leaving early. So USC fans definitely showed out for this one. So that definitely was an impact on the game. Absolutely.
It seemed to me like it was one of those games where if in the second half Michigan got more into it, maybe you would have heard the Michigan crowd a little more. But USC, their fans just totally suffocated the Michigan fans. It was great to see because we all know USC fans, they don't love to talk about, the opposing team coming into the Coliseum. That's something that they get all upset about, which I understand. And I thought USC fans did an amazing job against Michigan, and the third downs, like I never heard it that loud in my 3 years doing this. I don't think that was something that definitely stood out to me. Bryce Underwood had a really hard time under center. You could tell that the noise was bothering him. USC fans, they always say we got to turn the Coliseum into one of those classic venues where it's really hard to hear, and I felt like that's exactly what happened in this game. So hopefully more of the same.
To quote Riley, I don't care what he says. I think from start to finish, loudness, energetic into it, kind of hoopla. That was the best atmosphere I've covered at the Coliseum. But in terms of like the loudest, most like goosebumpy, it's still last season's USC Notre Dame game. Right before USC threw that first pick six, the crowd was like, after they drove down, it looked like they were gonna, take the lead in this dramatic game. The energy and the buzz was like goose pimples. That's still kind of the high that I have, but it kind of got close to kind of reaching there a bit. But start to finish, this was like, the best atmosphere I've covered in the Coliseum.
We had a comment on Facebook from Ian. Apparently Derek Jeter was at the game in the club tower. We kept hearing Derek Jeter chants, looked over and saw him in the tower.
Derek Jeter was there. I saw a video. I did not see him personally down there. Someone said Kevin Hart was there. If you saw Kevin Hart, someone said he was walking around with 2 bodyguards. I didn't step on him. I didn't see him at all. And then George Lucas was apparently around. Obviously, there was a ton of USC alumni.
They did like a look-alike celebrity thing, and it wasn't George Lucas, though. I don't think they put it on the screen.
That's what I thought they were doing.
But maybe it was him.
But maybe it was.
I don't know if it wasn't just
Someone said he was. There was a lot of like, did you see so-and-so's here? Do you see so-and-so is here? So, yeah, I definitely can confirm Derek Jeter was there. The other two, I did not see them with my own two eyes.
Lewis says, loudest I ever heard was Aaron Rodgers' last drive against our defense.
Can you confirm, Brian?
I was there. Yeah, that was pretty loud. Aaron Rodgers was like ridiculous that day. He was like 23 of 24 or some stupid, like just some dumb, like they couldn't stop him at all. Like he just kept, everything he did just was working. And that final, the Cal was they got to stop at the end finally. But yeah, it was pretty loud in that one.
Got another super chat.
Oh, we do? Oh, let me look in there. Hold on.
From
Sorry.
Alan, calling out those Michigan fans from Thursday.
Oh, Alan, yeah. Hey, Connor, how about those risky Trojan? Wait, let me do that risky Trojan offense. The Wolverines sure made them pay for that that audacity. LOL. What did all the Michigan chatters go?
Yeah, they're not here because
they
got destroyed, which I didn't take it that far. I thought the game would be closer, but that was a bad matchup for them. And all their fans, like the audacity of some of those fans on Thursday to come in and say, could get ugly for USC if Michigan plays their game. In what world was it ever going to get ugly for USC? That just tells me that was an uninformed fan, which a lot of them are when you're only watching your own team. They had no idea how good USC's offense was, and I don't think Michigan had allowed 30 points all year, and USC
pretty
put
risky
31 on them.
Throwing the football, the forward pass. That's so risky.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a really weird. Like, okay, could you have a freshman quarterback? So like, throwing the football, like what was it? I don't think it was like an old person, but it was like from like the 30s or something. Like that's so risky with the passing and stuff.
Everything that Michigan's good at, USC's not good at. If you couldn't tell, I'll just say it. I don't think I'll ever cover Michigan. I can't stand those fans. They are so arrogant. I hate their relationship with Michigan State, the big brother, little brother crap. When that punt got blocked like 20 years ago and Michigan State walked it off against Michigan, that was one of my favorite college football moments ever.
Wow.
God, I love that they just had to take it on Saturday.
You must have loved App State too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember watching that game at my grandparents' house. I enjoyed that one.
Dave Portnoy, who does like the Barstool stuff. So I saw his like 2-minute rant, but he called it West Coast. I think I could say like he was like West Coast pussy football is what he was describing it as, and he just had to eat a lot of crow. But he used some colorful language. I don't know if it was his Instagram. Someone shared it on like I think on the Peristyle thread or whatever. But yeah, he did not like getting beat up. The LSU fans, the same thing. They hated getting pushed around by USC. They were the same way. They're like, how do we let some West Coast team push us around?
And then we talk a lot about Lincoln Riley. Is he the right man for the job? How about Sharon Moore? He doesn't look like a very good head coach. That's a guy that I would be scared to death of if I was a Michigan fan. Oh, he was the offensive line coach a couple of years ago, and that's kind of his claim to fame. Like, call the offense a couple of years. I don't know about him, man. I don't think that him and Wink Martindale are instilling much fear in the rest of the Big Ten. I think they might be down a dangerous path a little bit. They put way too much money into that team to look as poor as they did Saturday. The Nebraska win was nice, but between last year and this year, I don't know.
Well, it was funny. So this is sort of like a little microcosm into how like college sports is evolving. And Dave Portnoy is like, I'm not a Barstool guy. It's fine if some people really like it. I just don't follow that stuff much. But, he's loaded. He's created this empire and is a huge Michigan fan, if you don't know. And Fox put him on, their pregame show for big noon kickoff. And he does, he's more colorful stuff. He's sort of like the Pat McAfee-ish person or whatever, I guess. But he apparently donated like $1 million to get, part for Bryce Underwood. And for him to see him in his car, like, someone's asking me if Sherman Moore's the guy. I'm not sure. Like, he wouldn't say that he wasn't the guy, but he was pretty much saying he wasn't the guy. He hated the play calling. He's like, why are you running on first and second down and throwing, let this kid, he actually paid money to get this guy. So when he kind of looks like crap, you're like, well, now, so there's like reasons. Is he going to pay for the next quarterback? Like, because he doesn't like the way he's used? Like, they're now more emotionally involved because their actual money went to getting this guy. And if you pay a whole bunch of money, and Bryce Underwood's not a bust, he's like a stud, but, he didn't look like, Jade Maeva looked like 10 times the quarterback he was, just because the offense and everything was different. But I wonder how that changes things because he put $1 million down to get this quarterback, and he's in his car crying about how bad the offense was.
Remember, he was taunting Illinois fans at the game.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give Dave Portnoy credit. After USC won, that emergency press conference car video gave USC credit, and he crapped on Michigan. I enjoyed that.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, so there was a lot of people talking in the chat.
But, yeah, I mean, is it good for Fox to have a guy who's just a blatant Michigan fan, donor, like has the blinders on, can't even make a useful point because he's so blinded by Michigan on the broadcast? Like, I guess what they wanted, they're accomplishing because we're talking about it. But, I mean, when I think of college football analysis, I think he's pretty low on my list.
Yeah.
We have another caller if now's a good time.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to get to some questions and stuff, but let's do a live caller.
Hey, Nick in Dallas, you are on Tunnel Vision. How are you doing?
Yeah, you guys doing? Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you loud and clear.
All right, thanks. Love the show, Ryan. I just wanted to make a case that I thought yesterday's game was a statement win. I thought the 2 turnovers hurt, but I think the Miami turnover I thought was somewhat, it was crucial. I thought he got a little too greedy. And it could have been a blowout if not for the two turnovers. But I think if USC controls the trenches, I think we'll be okay. And I thought Todd Blackledge on ABC made a good point that if USC stays balanced, offense and defense, you're going to keep the defense guessing. And that's what I like about the running game and passing game. And, I think we'll be fine. I think I saw this morning the line is like 8.5. It's Notre Dame or Notre Shane, I should call them. I think I'm picking them to win that game, obviously. I think we'll be okay. I think that we learned a lot from that Illinois game, that we should have won. And I think, Lincoln and D'Anthony Lynn has them going in the right direction. Progress is coming. But like I said, as long as they control the trenches and the defense, plays discipline, we'll be okay. And I'm hoping the running backs are healthy. I don't know if Wayman's going to be okay for this game, but I think the backup with Keaton Miller and I think Brian Jackson coming in last night showed us that how much depth USC has. But overall, I think we're looking good. I think we're going to be confident, going through the game against Notre Dame. And I'm looking forward to SC victory and fight on. Thanks for taking my call.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. I definitely give USC a chance against Notre Dame. We'll see who is available and who isn't. Looks like King Miller and Brian Jackson will be the only running backs. But comparing this year's Notre Dame game to the one from a couple of years ago on the road, I didn't think USC had a shot in hell against Notre Dame 2 years ago. I think they absolutely have a chance this year.
One of my big, bold predictions for this season, I think USC is going to snap the drought at either Oregon or Notre Dame. I felt better about Notre Dame, so I've been on the train of they're going to get one of these games, and I think it could be the Notre Dame game. And
Notre Dame just gets off to these slow starts this year. Like, there's definitely you can see it. There's definitely a path for USC. But hey, we have plenty of time to talk about
a rain game.
That game. Oh well, a rain game would make me nervous because you got to be able.
You'll be in the box.
No. Like for USC.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that helps.
It was funny, so USC gets those running backs hurt, and there's a lot of the criticism has been about Lincoln Riley not running the ball more. And as soon as it was only King Miller, they just kept giving him the ball. It was like, I'm like, this is the time you could back off the running back.
He had every excuse to just chuck it.
It's like, no, let's just feed the only running back you have left. So it was just kind of funny. They're not expecting us to do that.
Even King's like, can we throw a pass?
Yeah. And they caught a couple passes too, I think, in that stretch too. There was just
he's a good overall back. He can catch, he can pass block. He's got some wiggle to him. Got that spin move.
I've never seen we've had a couple walk-on running backs where you're like, all right, that guy could probably make a couple plays, but never his line. If you don't know, I'll pull it up.
18 for 158 and a touchdown.
49-yard run, 8.8 yard average.
And a
Is
nice
that good?
Run too, not like a 1 yarder, like a.
Yeah. Oh, and a 49-yard run. Oh, and a 47-yard run. And the touchdown run was 15 yards.
Yeah.
He's the real deal.
We got another.
Holyfield?
I'm trying to get to these questions, but things keep coming up. Super chat, GS7585. Michigan fans did a lot of talking before the game, but were very polite in leaving the Collie at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Great show. I did find it funny that. Thanks for the super chat, $9.99. Look at that. I did find it funny that they were I think the Coliseum was sort of trolling. They put on the Jumbotron, whatever they call it, video of the Michigan fans sort of leaving in droves, or just sort of.
Then a couple of USC fans left and they cut it. I thought that was funny.
No.
Yeah, hold on. Cut it. No.
They're leaving too.
They're going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
They're going to the
exactly.
bathroom.
There's a lot of game left.
All right. Well, before anything weird happens, I'm gonna start doing questions.
Can I just point out real quick? We're
go
talking
ahead.
about King Miller. King Miller currently leads the Big Ten in yards per carry at 10.69 and second in the nation. Only 2 players are above 10.9 or 10, and he is one of them.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, Mark says smash the like button. Please do if you're wherever you're watching. We appreciate that. Tommy on Facebook just checked in. Great win. Any news regarding the injured running backs?
Run it back, Connor.
Real quick, just some people are asking.
Yeah, just in case you're joining us, and that's what you got to do on live radio. You got to update the listeners. So Wayman Jordan is definitely out against Notre Dame, and we think Eli Sanders will be too. Wayman Jordan will be out 4 to 6 weeks because he's going to have ankle surgery tomorrow. It's a tightrope surgery, if you're familiar with that one. Tough blow. And then Eli Sanders hurt his knee, and Lincoln Riley made it sound like he's going to be out for the year last night, but we have no official update on him. Going into Notre Dame, it looks like King Miller and Brian Jackson will be the 2 running backs for USC, and what a big opportunity for those 2.
All right. Alan in St. Louis was on Facebook. Does anyone on staff signal to Coach Riley to challenge plays? Lemon's sideline catch was actually inbounds right before the long 3rd down run by King. Broadcast team was baffled.
Maybe that is Heward in the booth, but I'm not really sure who is the guy in that situation to say, hey, challenge it.
Yeah, I don't know if they have like a designated. I'm sure someone takes that responsibility, but it was such a bang play to happen. But yeah, I don't have an answer. Like if they have someone whose responsibility in the booth is to like signal down to someone to like, hey, throw the flag or whatever.
I haven't rewatched the game yet, and I saw in the peristyle a lot of people said Lemon was definitely in, and I believe him. What a crazy catch, because from the press box it looked like incomplete,
There's
easy.
no way,
There's no way he got a foot down, and lo and behold, you can't bet against Lemon clearly. So
even his non-catches are catches.
yeah, jeez,
That's crazy.
But that's a good question. We should try to get an answer to that. Do you think if we asked him in a scrum, Riley would tell us? I feel like that's one that probably got to go through some back channels.
Yeah, maybe we back channel that one first. Roger Dodger, question, status of Floyd Bacard? Because he just recently in the chat was like, please ask. I did. Any question I saw, I wrote down. I'm going to try to get back to them. So
knee injury. I saw him after the game on the field, had a knee brace on. His left knee was in a lot of pain, was hobbled walking off. I'd put him at doubtful for right now. We'll see going to the week, but obviously knee injuries a little bit tricky, but I would not be shocked if he was held out a week with the bye week on the other side of the Notre Dame game. So yeah, that hurts.
yeah, he's always active when he gets in there.
Carlon Jones season.
Yeah, got some run there.
Could be if you got some stock in him. Jasper Smith, does Jakeem Stewart start before the year's over? He has been the best interior defensive lineman on the field for USC all year. It is funny when he comes in, he just seems to make a play like right away.
You're
like, oh, there he is. Oh, he made a play.
He has 5 games, college games. He has 5 tackles for loss. He's due for 1 tackle for a loss per game, and if you stack all those up, you're going to be an All-American at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll start over Jade or Devin Tompkins in the middle if they're both available, but seems like sooner than later he'll start.
You know what? I predicted him as a freshman All-American, so I'm going to say he'll get 1 start this season.
Okay.
If both those guys are healthy?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder who he'll start over. Because Tompkins and Jade Abasiri were USC's 2 top-graded defensive players against Michigan per Pro Football Focus.
Stop making me look bad with numbers and stuff.
Nice.
Well, it's early grades. We all know they
cut
can
his mic.
change.
Cut his mic.
All right. Mute him up. John in the chat says, hey, Ryan, 22 years following you. Troy75 says hi. Thank you, John, for that. That's pretty awesome.
It's a long time.
It's older
It's a
than
long
Connor.
time. I must be old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake had a question from YouTube. Are you surprised Michigan didn't throw the ball downfield more? It seemed like they played into USC's hands a lot. I think they were trying to protect him, but his first pass was like, his first series, he threw the ball every time.
Throw.
And it was like low percentage, like guy streaking down the sideline, like throwing a bullet, hoping something like that didn't seem like it was a way to, you want to get the guy a couple free throws before you're taking 3-pointers. And I agree with Dave Portnoy. The play calling for that was a little bit weird.
They went right at the Carlos Nicholson on that first play, and Nicholson had
He's good.
good coverage. He had some mistakes, but yeah, he's the best they got.
Right. I wouldn't go after him. Like, I would go after whoever's on the other side.
Marcellus, I thought he maybe played a little better than DeCarlos Nicholson.
No, but I mean, like, to start the game. Like, you're just like, that's what you're going to pick on.
Hey, they're trying to set a tone.
Yeah, but
We're
it
gonna
wasn't
beat your
a high
best guy.
percentage throw. It was like just a bullet to the side. Like it just seemed like timing had to be perfect. It's not one of those things where you sit in the middle of a zone and just like throw it to a guy whose chest is facing you. Like
All he's got is the fastball right now.
maybe that's it.
Another reason to feel good about USC, Justice Haynes, the Michigan running back who leads the Big Ten in yards per carry, goes out, and they just kind of crumble. Wayman Jordan, Eli Sanders go out. So USC, imagine if Michigan had lost Jordan Marshall too, the other guy. Those guys go out, and then King Miller just takes over. The depth and just what the offensive line's been able to do, and it's a lot of the Lincoln Riley offense and the play calling too. Like, I'll admit I've been guilty sometimes of taking the good offense for granted, especially in years past when it's like, okay, the offense is great, but everything else isn't as good. When you're able to scheme the way Riley schemes and just it doesn't matter sometimes who's in there, like that's such a luxury that other teams just don't have. Haynes gets hurt, Michigan's done.
Yeah,
USC loses a bunch of guys, and they're better.
Yeah, you needed like a stud running back in that where he's going to make guys miss. Like in this case, now the thing was we saw King Miller do that spin move and stuff, and he made guys miss too. But a lot of it's schematic that they're getting him free, and but the fact that as a walk on could do that, like that's got to make you feel. If you're Michigan, Dave Portnoy, I mean, he didn't even mention that. Like a walk-on running back ran for 150 yards on us. Like, holy crap, like that's not good. You don't want that. This is a big one from John on Facebook. I didn't even know the comments could get this big. How do we maintain an effective rushing attack next week with a decimated running back room? And can we clean up the busted plays on defense that go for touchdowns? Yesterday was more an overly aggressive tackle attempt with no help if he misses, but bad timing.
They'll certainly try on number 2. I just kind of think USC, they are what they are a little bit, where there might be an explosive touchdown here or there, and you just got to hope the offense can make up for it. As for the first one, when the offensive line is playing like the offensive line is playing, I don't want to say anyone could do what King Miller's done. I'm not trying to say that. He was fantastic, but it just makes the running back's job so much easier. And when you have two inexperienced running backs in Miller and Brian Jackson, the fact that the offensive line is so amazing makes a huge difference. I think you'd rather have the amazing offensive line and the inexperienced running backs than vice versa, where if Justice Haynes was running with a line that wasn't as good as USC's, you're just only as good as your offensive line is what I'm trying to say. And right now, USC's offensive line is really, really good. It's crazy. They might be better without Elijah Page, which I never thought I would say in a million years. And Big General Reed is doing amazing at center. It's crazy what's happening right now.
Yeah, I wanted to give a little love to Big General. He played an outstanding game after, some real ups and downs against Illinois coming in there, with Killian going down, some high snaps and some miscommunication and some missed blocks and all that. He was lights out.
He played much better.
Yeah, and does that raise, no disrespect to Killian, but if Jeremy Reed, a veteran center, obviously much bigger than Killian, if he's calling it like that, I think that elevates the middle of the offensive line.
Remember how desperate we were for good offensive linemen a couple years ago? Like, we're at the point now where the backups might be better than the starters. Crazy.
Well, we had two questions. I'll read them both, and you can talk a little more offensive line. Jasper, when Page returns, does Benuelos sit without seeing any action? Because he's been great. And then Jeff, do we think Big General will remain the starter once Killian's healthy?
I know Lincoln Riley loves Killian, so if Killian's healthy, I imagine he'd get the job back, but don't know that for sure.
But if he's playing really well, you wouldn't want to rush him back.
Yeah,
not just because you need him back. You could take a little extra time. Big General's playing as well as he did on Saturday.
And with Elijah Page back, I think Micah Benuelos has to be the odd man out, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Let's see.
But I love Tobias Raymond at left tackle. He is a stud. He's going to the NFL one day. He's been awesome this year. He was a question mark, and he's been awesome.
Remember when everyone was like, but he's a 3-star. That's why you take 3 stars and develop them, and he's like the best offensive lineman they have right now.
Yeah. Let's see. Ian, is Brian Jackson on sort of a pitch count, or is he full go?
I think he was on a pitch count the other night, and it should have been 0, but
I think the pitch count was 0, yeah.
I do think against Notre Dame, I coming back from a turf toe, I imagine that he's not like 100%, right? He'll be on some kind of pitch count.
I mean, we can ask.
Will they tell us?
Chris, did you rewatch the game?
I haven't rewatched the full 3-hour one that hasn't been posted yet. I watched the 40-minute expedited one.
Well, because I don't know if you saw this, but we have a Facebook comment.
Oh no.
Juvenile, love the angry giraffe mentioned by the broadcasters, but no credit to CT.
I was actually going to bring this up.
about
It
that?
didn't fit in, but they did use the angry giraffe nickname on the broadcast. Gerard posted it, which I just need to clarify. I did not come up with that nickname. I got cited for that at the tailgate. I did not. It's actually Eddie from Orange on the Peristyle who first
Really?
who first put it out there. Maybe I popularized it in the mainstream, but Eddie from Orange on the Peristyle is the first person in the history of the universe to refer to Eric Gentry as the angry giraffe.
And we know
it's
that.
now made on. It's now
on the
now a
run.
thing.
That's what college football fandom's all about right there.
Yeah.
I didn't know Eddie did that. Congrats,
so shout
Eddie.
out to
I
Eddie
didn't
from
know-
Orange, the
nice job,
mascot
Eddie.
of the 2-star.
Yeah. Oh my God, he is.
I expect
It's-
a reference to that in his next.
It's
voicemail.
bleeding over into art, so I think I've kind of quelched that a little bit. But yes, it started we started getting a bunch of voicemails. I'm like, Eddie, you can give us some, but I'm not doing it while you're jogging and 3-minute voicemails. I'm not doing.
Oh,
that
for the
yet.
Peristyle?
Yes,
Yeah,
for the-
yeah. It's a thing. If you guys can't handle it, it's okay. Just
He always compliments my facial hair, so I like it.
He
Okay.
hasn't complimented my facial hair once.
He's got different
Once.
stuff for you.
I even take his voicemails on Instagram, and I've not gotten one facial hair.
Eddie,
comment.
you have a fan in me. Thank you.
Jeff had a question. Do we think Penn State makes a run at Danton Lynn as head coach?
I think they got to go with someone who has experience.
No way. Yeah.
So no, but
No.
hey,
Plus, he already turned him down for the DC. Like
who knows? Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't think that's
I
where
don't
you're
think so either.
the fans would go bananas.
I'm nervous they're going to take Fran Brown from Syracuse. I hope not.
Oh yeah.
Even though Syracuse is not
there was a
doing
lot of
as
talk
well.
about.
Signetti?
No, well, I mean, he would be the best, but I don't. I mean, he's an older guy now. I don't know if he's going anywhere. But like from Nebraska to take Matt Rule, I've seen that come up. But
I don't know about that rule.
John wanted to know how USC is going to fix the running back situation for the Notre Dame game. We kind of talked about that a bunch, but I know he asked it a few times in the chat. I mean, I don't think it's broken,
Yeah,
right?
fix. It's going to be the
Depleted.
guys they have left: King Miller and Brian Jackson.
Yeah.
You can't make a trade. There's no deadline. You can't trade with the Penn State.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That'd be cool.
SoCal
One day.
SoCal weddings. What do you think makes Lincoln Riley such a prolific play caller?
Really smart, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Able to exploit the defensive weaknesses much better than other people. I think he's just he's a wonderkind. He got the job really young at Oklahoma. Obviously, was the OC there before and was an offensive coordinator before that. Learned from Mike Leach. Just a really, really smart guy. I think that's what separates him.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's vision. It's like playing chess, I think, a lot of times where it's not just every rook does this. Like you have different pieces that'll do different things, but also those pieces have different attributes and knowing how to put them in the right place and the right position. And I mean, to see, I give him a lot of credit because we saw what Jade Mayava was last year, and then you have an off season to work things out, and maybe he's tailoring the play calling to what Jaden does well, and it's an elite offense again. So to all those offenses he's had last year was the one year that wasn't elite. Every other year has been, I think number 6 was the worst. They've all been top 5 except for like 1 year. Yeah, that's consistency, and he's been able to do it. And I think a lot of it is being able to adapt to, especially the quarterback, whatever the strengths are, put him in a good position to succeed, and he's doing that really well right now with Jade Mayava.
Absolutely. Mayava's progress is maybe the biggest story of the year. One of them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. What did we say? Many times, the X factor for this team, and he has X factored.
He's X factored up. He went from
you know what I mean.
Is Lincoln Riley going to get somebody out of the portal to this guy's like statistically the best quarterback in the country? Pretty
Double
amazing.
down on him. Credit to him.
Yeah, Brian in the chat. Chris, did you see the Taunau doing the dance in the locker room after the game? If so, do you have the video to play on the show?
The Benuelos dance? The ooze?
I guess, did Justin do? Maybe he was doing the dance.
The ooze.
Was Justin
the
doing
ooze.
the ooze dance? And then
Is that the dance he's referring to? I don't.
yeah, I'm assuming it's Benuelos' dance.
Yeah.
But
Micah said he's been getting other guys to do it.
so maybe it was
So-
that. But we're not in the locker room, so we couldn't really. We wouldn't
I
have
don't
video
have
of that.
video. I will look on the Instagram. But if that's the dance you're referring to, maybe we could get him to do it at practice.
Oh yeah,
Oh, this
this
dance?
I love it. Okay, fight on natties. Did anyone see that when the game was over, a lot of Michigan players ran to the tunnel without shaking USC's hands? Talk about no class, just like more.
I think that's just kind of what happens in some of these games.
I think so. It's a little chaotic in the field sometimes. Like I'm not.
They were adamant that they were going to rush the field.
Who was?
The guards, they were like adamant. I was like, are they really going to rush the field?
They're not going to rush the field.
I'm glad there was no field rushing, even though a few people tried.
Yeah,
Really?
definitely a few people tried.
Yeah, I think that's just one of the USC things. Is like,
It's like we don't rush
it's
the
not a
field.
field
Good.
rushing thing. They don't do like the wave in the Coliseum. Just sort of like sometimes USC fans can get people give them crap for some of the pretentiousness or whatever, but they're also not going to rush the field on you. Like, okay, you're Michigan, whatever. Like,
Have you ever
You're not that
seen a
good.
USC field rush?
I don't. I mean, this is a terrible memory. I nothing like pops in my head, but someone in the chat.
Someone
will
in the
pop
If
chat
up.
anyone
will
in the
let you
chat has
know.
ever seen, remembers, been part of something like that,
I remember being like I think I was
doesn't happen.
a student, or it was something like soon after I was a student, and like they were doing some kind of contest, and they were giving away a car, but it was like
Stanford 2013, that's in the chat, and that's what always comes up.
okay, yes, like that was like
Thank
Ed
you.
Orgeron, right? And they had 12 guys on defense the whole game and everything. They were number 5 in the country. Like that, I felt like that was like a relief from the sanctions and everything. But it's pretty rare. But yeah, like they were giving away a car for some giveaway thing, but it wasn't like a good car. It was like whatever, like a Honda Civic kind of thing, and like
Whoa.
people were just like whatever, like. It wasn't something. It was like if it was like, oh, it's like this is a
dare
new
you.
Porsche or something, right? But the fans were just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
My Honda Civic has served me very well.
I'm
I'll
sure it
have
has.
you
Did
know.
Did you say Honda Civic because he drives a Honda Civic?
No,
Or
I'm just saying.
okay.
But USC fans were not like that. They weren't. That don't impress me much. Is that who was
That
it?
don't impress me.
Yeah, what's her name?
Shania Twain.
Shania Twain. Yes.
What's the opposite of donate? Take money from Ryan for not knowing Shania Twain.
We're getting another call right now. It's screening. Is it too late?
Let's do these quick ones here, and then we'll do
We'll
the call.
end on a call.
Yeah, Raider Houston going to Chicago for the week for Notre Dame. Any events Friday or Saturday before the game? So Friday, Theory Bar,
Flanker. No, sorry. Theory.
Flanker. That's not Vegas.
Couldn't help
Theory
myself.
Bar. We'll be back.
We always
were,
end up at Flanker.
we were there a couple of years ago. If we have to stop in Vegas we'll stop at Flanker. And then
The pep rally is at noon on Friday, I think, but I don't know. Have details.
yeah, that's like Navy Pier. They usually do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be like 6 p.m. At Theory, and it should be a lot of fun. The Chicago alumni crew will be joining us. So
Are
Wes.
the Cubs playing that day?
Cubs are done.
Oh,
right?
the Cubs are done?
I
Yeah,
think
that's right.
Aren't the Cubs done? Yeah.
Yeah, Brewers won, right?
Yeah. Andrew, how do you guys feel about
Big
the battle
baseball
for the
guy.
Jeweled Shillelagh getting the shaft for College Game Day? Probably the last time we play that they'll go to some random SEC game. Yeah, it's just now that the ESPN's with the SEC, I think you're going to focus on that more than anything, I don't know, but I haven't looked. Should that
Was he wondering how we feel about the game or how we feel about
No,
game
game
day
day.
not going? Oh, doesn't really bother me.
what's the game that they're going to?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So we don't really give a crap, but it's okay if you do. But I get it. There's like it's SEC stuff. Like they're just going to do if there's like even close, they'll do the SEC game most likely. So yeah, everyone's saying Stanford. Yeah, that was Coach O. That was like a big one. But yeah, we're ready for a caller.
Okay, the name on the website here, it says Factor K. So Factor K, hello. You are on Tunnel Vision. Hello.
Hi, it's Dr. K. And
Dr. K.
Brian,
Got
I've
it.
been calling you for quite some time.
Yep,
It's
sorry.
been a long time.
My apologies.
I've been with you. Yeah, it's been with probably 2010. My son was there from 2010 to 2014, but somebody
and you found out about rushing the field, he was one of them that actually rushed the field. 20,000 people on there in 2013 was great. Great memory. Two things real quick for Connor and Chris. Connor first. I might have mentioned this. I haven't talked to him in a long time. I want to thank you for addressing Coach Riley as coach, where others call him Lincoln. Okay, so that's great. Keep it up, and hopefully other people can do that too with respect. Chris, well, both of you, your recap was great, even though you had fireworks or whatever, whether fireworks or sirens going on in the back, but you both handled that just fantastic. And Chris, are you still filming the on-field? Because that's absolutely wonderful. And if you are, do you get a chance, since you're looking through a viewfinder or whatever, to actually watch? Are you critical of what you've done? But it's great, and it must be a fantastic way to watch the game.
Yeah, I'm still the videographer for the field highlights, which are up. Thank you for the
it's up on our
segue.
YouTube channel.
They're doing hot right now. No one ever watches when they lose, but when they do win, I got some great stuff. So check that out. But yeah, I do. It's hard to like do instant because you are literally just watching a game through a tiny lens, which I don't love to do. So I always have to try to get a rewatch before I do like this show or Helium Boys or whatever. You need to have the rewatch to help you formulate your ideas and what you actually saw. So your eyes can trick you down there when you're watching through a little viewfinder. But thank you for the compliment. Yeah, it's tough down there in the elements, and I don't know how it's going to be on Saturday with a potential rain game. But I bring it for the fans because they do love the field highlights.
Chris is a grinder.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks you,
Dr. K.
Appreciate it.
That is your third strike because you messed up.
Oh yeah, we got to get someone else to do the calls.
So that is strike number 3, unfortunately.
Oh
so.
yeah.
Bill in the chat says 1964 Notre Dame, so I'll take your word for it.
Field rush?
I wasn't even born then, so
Wow.
yeah.
I wonder what a field rush in the 60s was like.
Yeah.
Everyone's mushrooms falling out of their pocket.
Brian says field offers a totally different game perspective. Yeah, people love the highlights. Hip hop R&B lover John says the field highlights are elite.
That's an awesome.
But what does your jacket think?
It's an awesome music.
Ryan's jacket hasn't commented on the field highlights yet.
They logged off.
But thank you for all those comments.
Oh no, he's back. We should have rushed the field. Big Ten doesn't find.
We should have rushed the field. Good point.
I don't, so here's the thing. Like, I don't think you should rush the field because that's showing that you don't think you're as good as the team that you just beat. And there's an arrogance at USC, arrogance at a place like Ohio State. Like, you know, you're not thinking it's worth our time to rush the field. We should just beat you. It's not like some weird, crazy thing. Like, is it weird that you beat 4-1 Michigan?
They were favored. Hello?
USC was favored. Yeah, like you shouldn't rush the field for stuff like that. I get the Coach O thing made sense. Like USC had the sanctions, everything that that was going on, and Lane Kiffin, all that crazy stuff. Stanford was, really good, and USC only had like 12 healthy bodies on defense, and they rallied around their coach. Like, okay, I'll give you that one. But yeah, you're showing too much respect to an opponent if you're going to rush the field on them. Like Northwestern beats Penn State, rush the field all day. You're freaking Northwestern, they're Penn State.
Which is why everyone rushed the field last season on USC.
Yeah,
So many field rushes.
Maryland rushed the field on USC.
Come on, you didn't have to. You could have gone Minnesota.
Minnesota rushed the field on USC.
There we go.
You should
Illinois rushed the field this year.
Yes,
Jeez.
which they shouldn't do, but they did. So whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't. You give too much respect, I would say. So I wouldn't do it. Like, don't do that. Don't make them think they're good. Like you're not good enough to rush the field. Apparently, they wore Michigan did wear blue pants, which is like a sign of respect. Or something, or like they wear for
Michigan.
big games.
Just wear whatever you wear. What a sign of respect. Who are they to give respect?
I don't know. There's some kind of like for big games. I remember when USC played at Florida State, like the mascot who has the spear and riding the horse and stuff. I forget what he does, but if he only for a big game, like when they would play Miami or something, I think he would like stab the field. There was something that he would do, but he did it for USC because it was like a big game, So that kind of stuff is cool, but don't rush the field if you're USC. Like that's for If UCLA rush the field, there wasn't that many fans in the stands for that to do it, but
Like 30 people. The
Yeah,
whole entire stadium.
No one went to the game, so it was,
Yeah.
it was kind of an embarrassing field
yeah.
rush.
Roger says Notre Dame brings out green jerseys. Like there's like kind of signs of respect when you're good on good, which I like those. That's cool, but don't rush the field. Like no. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it. We got everything going. We got a lot of calls. We got a ton of calls. We appreciate that. Connor hung up on a few of them, but it's okay.
Picked up on a few of them unexpectedly too as well. So at least he balances it out, you know.
It was good. And thanks for Chris for stepping in.
Hey, after watching a big, got to get their number called, stepping up game, I had to do it.
You had to step
the
up.
team. Yeah. You called me out. Not called me out. You called me up. You're just like, we need you.
You pulled a King Miller. Your number was called.
There we go.
Yeah, I did check with India too, but she was the Eli Sanders of the situation. She couldn't do it or something. So I'm like, all right.
Wait. So you're saying I was your second call?
No, you were the first.
Wow.
You were the first call.
End the show.
But you didn't. You're not always like. You're like, okay, I guess. So I was like, India, do you want to do it? Yeah, because then But I didn't want to like bother you.
Look, I'm part of this team.
Okay. Sweet. All right. Well, that's going to wrap things up. We had a whole bunch of people watching us live on YouTube and Facebook, so we appreciate all of you doing that. If you're not a member over at uscfootball.com, you certainly should. The amount of content we put up just from last night's game is incredible. A whole bunch of things. So check it out. Our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. You can find a bunch of content we put up there, and we appreciate that. What are we laughing over there, guys?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Just the things you find in your direct messages.
Oh,
can leave it
someone's
at that.
sliding into your DMs?
Yeah, but not the good kind.
It's a portrait of you in the jacket.
Oh,
No.
nice.
I'm messing
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. We will be back. I have the Harvey Hyde Show tomorrow. There'll be the Helium Boys podcast this week. There'll be Connor and I will do a podcast with India. The composite two-star recruits podcast, Thursday night tunnel vision preview for USC Notre Dame. And of course, if you're going to Chicago, go to the Theory Bar in downtown Chicago, 6 p.m. Just show up. Just come by. Have some drinks. We had a blast there a couple weeks ago, and should have a good time going into this one. But for Chris, for Connor, I am Ryan. Hope you guys all enjoyed the show, and we will talk to you next time.